for that first game. We can hear the excitement as John Fogerty's song goes, "Put me in, coach, I'm ready to play." Songwriters and musicians have written many songs about this great game of baseball. The 1985 hit, also written by John Fogerty, Center Field, was honored by Baseball Hall of Fame for its 25th anniversary as a song. Some of the words are, well, I spent some time in Mudville 9, watching it from the bench. You know I took some lumps when mighty Casey struck out. So say hey Willie, tell Ty Cobb and Joe DiMaggio, you know the time is now. The time is now here in Morgan Hill, and one of our board members who has served both as a Bronco and Mustang DR, and is now the Pony Baseball treasurer, Rick Bottomley. We all know this song by Jack Norworth, "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Bringing out great sponsors to our Morgan Hill crowd, and serving as former webmaster and current board secretary, Gary Weisler. The song, "The Greatest," from popular country artist Kenny Rogers, is from 1998, and it's about a little boy's imagination while throwing up the ball and trying to hit it. Little boy, he adjusts his hat, picks up his ball and stares at his bat, says I'm the greatest and the game is on the line. Someone who is a player agent, Pinto and Pony DR, and the board member responsible for all of our player uniforms and equipment so they can adjust those hats and swing those bats, Manny Brum. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio had a 56-game hitting streak in 1941, and the song "Joltin' Joe" was part of that craze. He started baseball's famous streak that got us all aglow. He's just a man and not a freak. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio, we want you on our side. A former Pinto, Mustang, and Bronco DR, and Morgan Hill Ponies baseball player agent who is always on the side of all of our players, C.W. McGowan. The Pearl Jam frontman, Eddie Vedder, wrote the song all the way in 2007. Don't let anyone say that it's just a game, for I've seen other teams and it's never the same. Our heroes wear pinstripes, heroes in blue. They give us the chance to feel like heroes too. This board member has served as a Pinto and Bronco DR, fall ball and tournament director, and someone who gives all of our kids a chance to feel like heroes, Vice President Tom Moorhead. Oh, here he comes. The 1984 song by the Boss, Bruce Springsteen, from his album Born in the USA, uses baseball to introduce the song by reminiscing and recapturing our youth. I had a friend, was a baseball player back in high school. He threw that speedball by you. You know this song, glory days, well, they'll pass you by. Glory days in the wink of an eye. Glory days, glory days. This board member has served many glory days in Morgan Hill Pony Baseball. He has been a Pony and Colt DR, field director and vice president. He has served and continues as Morgan Hill Ponies baseball president. His contribution to our community for 17 years. He's dedicated, committed to players and families, and has gone far beyond most community volunteers. We hope these 17 years have filled him with many, many glory days. Let's give a big welcome to President John Bennett.
Thanks, Kathy. How's everybody doing this morning? All right. Well, welcome to 2012. All right, so let me introduce, maybe I should sit back here. All right, let me introduce some of the remaining board members on here that really make everything tick. The E-board members, we got an easy job. These other board members, they've got the tough job. So let's give them a big warm welcome. Our fundraising chair, Julie Brenny. Boosters, Jennifer Martin. You guys are our fields director, don't these fields look great? Nick Rizzi. Community relations, Paul Swing. Club ball director, Rich Taylor. Public relations, Rob Griffith. Tournaments, fall ball director, Gary Brenny. Our webmaster, Craig Peterman. Our head umpire, former player agent, Ed Struzik. Boo, umpire, boo. Training director, CJ Gallart, who is not present today. Shetland DR, Mike Robinson and Chris Keenan. There you go, good job. Pinto DR, Pete Milos and Dave Keegan. They still have a lot of enthusiasm in them. Mustang DRs, Vince Lagana and John Hennings. Bronco DRs, Randy Romreal and Mike, let me see if I got it right, Mike. Baez. Baez, there you go. Pony DR, Jenny Judd. Our champions DR, Terry Larice. This is your 2012 board. Please give them a big round of applause for all the work that they do. All right, I'm going to call up Gary Winsler real quick. Okay. All right, well, we're going to start to bring in our teams. We're going to start with our pony division. Jenny Judd will come up and introduce them. In the introductions to our pony teams coming through.
Good morning. We are going to start off this morning with the athletics, sponsored by Excel Air Systems. Come on out. Okay, and next we have the Giants, sponsored by KBM Workspace. Come on out, Giants. Okay, and here we have the Mets, sponsored Sponsored by Morgan Hill Mountain Mike's Pizza. And don't forget the Phillies, sponsored by the MDTD Drywall Incorporated. Go Phillies. And now we have the Yankees. Mission Control Company is our sponsor for the Yankees.
All right, that's our pony division. So let me call up our Bronco DRs to introduce the Bronco division.
All right, for the 2012 Bronco division, we're going to start off with the Athletics, sponsored by Community Chiropractic. All right, next up we have the Brewers, sponsored by Butler Amusement. And here come your Giants, sponsored by Dunham Associates CPA. Next up, we have the Jays, sponsored by South Valley Orthopedics. Okay, next up we have the Phillies, sponsored by Hale Lumber. Oh, I'm sorry, Reds. Reds Associated Concrete, sorry. Okay, next up the Red Sox, sponsored by Morgan Hill Kiwanis Club. Okay, now we have the Phillies, sponsored by Hale Lumber. All right, the last one for Bronco is the Yankees, sponsored by Underground Electric.
All right, let's get a round of applause for our Bronco division. Next up, Mustang.
All right, here we go. 2012 Mustang. First team up, the Angels. Sponsor, U.S. Tech Ceramics. Followed by the Athletics. Sponsor, Straw Hat Pizza. The Brewers are up next. Sponsor, Logo Locker. Let's hear it for the Cubbies. Sponsor, Innovative Equipment. The Giants. Sponsor, Intero, Casey Wake. And then the Jays. Welcome the Jays. Price Waterhouse Coopers is the sponsor.
Next up is the MHAT, sponsored by Benefited Insurance Services. Next up, Phillies, sponsored Johnson Lumber. Red Sox, sponsor Planet Orange. The Reds, sponsored by TechCon. Rockies, sponsor UC Components. Next up, Tigers, sponsor TTM Communications. White Sox, sponsor CF Consulting Group. And the last for the Mustang 2012 is the Yankees, sponsor Bank of the West.
All right, that's our Mustang division. Let's give them a round of applause. Boys, thanks for stepping back there. Let all the younger teams come in here. All right, next one up is Pinto.
That's your age.
All right, your 2012 Pinto Division. First team we got up is the Angels, sponsor Landmark Custom Homes. That's your cue. Next up we have the Athletics, Citteritz Woodcraft. Next up we have the Brewers, sponsored by Redwood Empire. Next up we have the Cubs, sponsored by Western Bancorp. Coming up next we have the Giants, sponsored by Froyo Delight.
Next up, we have the Pinto Jays, sponsored by Yosemite Pumpkin Patch. And now we have the Pinto Mets, sponsored by King Grading. And next up is the Pinto Phillies, sponsored by Chili's. We have the Pinto Red Sox, sponsored by Excel Air Systems. And next we have the Pinto Reds, sponsored by Discover Chiropractic. And right behind is the Pinto Tigers, sponsored by Rosie's at the Beach. And last but not least, the Pinto Yankees, sponsored by Dutchman's Pizza. Your 2012 Pinto Division.
Pinto. Give him a big round of applause. All right, next up, Shetland. That's good enthusiasm.
Shetland, backbone of the league. So, first up, we have the Bats. Sponsored by Toronto Foods.
Quit distracting me!
Next up, we have the Bulls, sponsored by Las Palmas Restaurant. Next, we have the Hooks, sponsored by Pump It Up, Morgan Hill. up, we have the Hot Rods, sponsored by Guglielmo Smith. Next, we have the Iron Pigs, sponsored by Air Conditioning. Next, we have the Knights, sponsored by Ricky DeLisle State Farm. And next, we have the Lug Nuts, sponsored by Jamba Juice.
Next we have the Muck Dogs, sponsored by Redwood Empire. Next up, Mud Hens. First contact, 911. Next up, Owls, sponsored by Sizzler. Next up, Ball Size, sponsored by Shoe Palace. Next up, the River Bandits, sponsored by Knott's Pro. Next up, Rockhounds, Red Robin.
It's warm over there.
Next, the Sand Gnats, sponsored by RBI Electrical. And next up, the Threshers, sponsored by Alexala Financial Group. And last, we have the Volcanoes, sponsored by Redwood Financial, 2012 Shetland Division.
All right, let's get a big round of applause for all our players. Whoa, I almost forgot. One of the most important. Our Champions Division by Terry Larice.
Hey, Steven, what's going on, brother? That's what your uniform?
Our Champions Division this year is sponsored by Friends of Dan Larice and the Rotary Club of Morgan Hill. This year we have buddy teams coming from high schools and the local Morgan Hill County Baseball Leagues, and I'd like to acknowledge those helpers and buddies. We will have Sobrato High School, Anchor Point High, Prospect High, our own Broncos Brewers, the Broncos Red Sox, the Mustang Cubs, Mustang Mets, Mustang
Now let's give a big round of applause for our 2012 players. All right, so I'm going to bring up Gary Winsler, who's our secretary and also our sponsor chairperson. Gary's got a couple quick words, and then we'll get to our guest speaker.
Thank you, John. As he said, I'm in charge of the sponsorship, and without our sponsors, our dues or our registration fees would be much, much higher. So we need to give our sponsors a big round of applause and a thank you. We had many returning sponsors this year, as well as many new sponsors this year. And we have 4 golden sponsors that I want to mention: TechCon, Dutchman's Pizza, Usagi Farms, the Pumpkin Patch, and Johnson Lumber. So some of those people aren't here, and we need to make them hear us. So I want everybody from over on this second base side over to stand up. All the players, stand up. From here on over, there you go. Now I want to hear a big thank. Let me hear you say thank. Okay, everybody stand up over here. Now I want to hear a big you. I didn't even hear that. Did you hear it? Come on.
Great job, great job, great job. So each year we have a guest speaker that comes out. We've had mayors, we've had chief of police, we've had school board members, so on and so forth. This year we thought we have one that has been an integral part to our league and has done a lot of things. Let me just kind of read a little bio. Played his college baseball at Monterey Peninsula College and Santa Clara University. Played 1 year of minor league ball. He coached in Morgan Hill Pony Baseball for 15 years. He coached our first Morgan Hill Pony Baseball World Series team in 2005 in Lafayette, Indiana, which they took 3rd place, our Colt team. He's coached at Live Oak for 25 years as the head varsity coach. He led Live Oak to 12 league championships in the Blossom Valley League, Tri-County League, and the Monterey Bay League. He led Live Oak to its first CCS championship in 2008. He is now our Live Oak athletic director, and he has also taken on a new challenge. He is the head golf coach at Live Oak. It's with great pleasure that I give you Mark Cummins.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate being here. It's my honor to be here. Morgan Hill Pony Baseball is a tremendous organization for the youth of our community and played a direct role in all the success that we've had at Live Oak through those years. It's been a great ride coaching all those years at Live Oak. I have a lot of great memories coaching both at Live Oak and in the pony baseball system here. One of my favorite memories is coaching my oldest son, Andrew, who's now 25, back when he was 5 in Shetland. And I kind of had him hit left-handed, thinking that he might need that extra step to first base if he inherited my speed. And so during the first game, Andrew hit the ball off the tee and he ran directly to 3rd base. He thought that since the right-handers had to run to first base, lefties had to run to 3rd base. So it took us a couple games to get that figured out, but needless to say, Andrew led the league in triples that year, and something that he's very proud of still to this day. Another great memory is obviously representing Morgan Hill at the World Series back in Lafayette, Indiana. Teams such as Tampa and a team from Missouri and international teams from Mexico, and we also played a team from Slovakia, and we're just happy that they didn't challenge us to an ice hockey game. But we did very well in that tournament, and it was great representing Morgan Hill at that stage, and it was just a great group of young men, and many of them are still playing in college to this day. I just have a few things just for kind of everyone involved. First, for the coaches, thank you very much for all that you do. It's not easy after a long day at work and then going out there and coaching, for a couple hours, even further until it gets dark. So thank you for all your time. Keep teaching the fundamentals. That's the key to being a good ball player. But again, all your time and effort is really appreciated. And as I always used to mention in my pony baseball coaching clinics, it's don't judge the success of your season on if you win the city championship or not, but how many of your players sign up to play again next year. So that should be your number one goal, is to continue letting these players play this great game of baseball. So teach them well and turn them on to this game and keep them having fun. So thank you again, coaches, for all that you do for our players and our youth of our community. Next, let's give the coaches a round of applause. They deserve it. Also, another group of parents and guardians and caretakers, whoever signed your kids up for baseball, way to go. That's outstanding, teaching them this great game of baseball. Keep things in perspective. Baseball is a very difficult game. There's going to be some good days. There's going to be some bad days out there. Just love them as you do. Morgan Hill's known for a great place to raise a family, and a lot of that has to do with the great parenting that goes on in our community. So parents, great job signing them up. But keep things in perspective. No one's ever signed a professional contract or gotten a scholarship out of the Bronco or Mustang division. So keep them having fun and make sure they're stressing, making sure they get their homework done and doing well in school as well. So parents, my last tip to you is always dress warm at Burnett. I thought the coldest game I had ever been to was watching the Giants game at Candlestick Park, but it was actually a Mustang game at Burnett one year. So always bring that extra blanket when you go to Burnett. But again, parents, thank you for all that you do to help out your children turned on to this game of baseball. Thank you, parents. And lastly, the reason we're all here, and that's the players. We're all here for you. We want you to have fun. That should be the number one rule, is that baseball is fun. When the umpire starts the game, he says play ball. He doesn't say serious work. So have fun. Keep things light. Everybody in their career will strike out. Everybody will make errors. It's how you respond to that. It determines what type of ball player you'll become. But be a good teammate. All right. You see a teammate that's down, always try to pick them up and be a good teammate, because you'll want somebody to try to pick you up if you're having a down day as well. So be a good teammate. But the most important thing that you need to do during your years right now, and that's to make sure you do well in school. And just like if you want to be a good baseball player, you got to practice. If you want to be smart, you got to study. So don't go to school just to eat your lunch. Go to school to try to get smarter. If you can try to get smarter every day, learn something new every day at school, think how smart you'll become. So work in the classroom, and then enjoy the game of baseball out here on the field. Again, I'd like to thank Morgan Hill Pony Baseball for the great job that they do for our community, and I hope everyone has a successful season, and best wishes and good luck to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. Let's give him another big round of applause. Okay, so we'd like to continue to move on real quick and reward or recognition for some of our retiring board members. Retiring board members are members that have obviously worked on the board, that have worked for a year or longer, and now have retired and moved on, or just doing their coaching or whatever. Those retiring board members this year: Mark Dean, who was our Pony DR last year. Mark is not here. We'll accept the award for him. Mike Scar. Mac Jones. Come on, man. We're running out of time. Mac Jones. Tom Ansborough. Tom was our webmaster last year. Now he's doing fields. Last retiring board member, our head umpire for the longest time, Steve Source. Thought I saw Mr. Source here today. Steve, are you here? Okay. That's our retiring board members. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, so I want to give a little special shout out to a couple of our all-star teams. Our Bronco all-star team last year, if those of you that don't know, there are certain sections that you have to go through to get to the World Series of pony baseball. The first is a sectional tournament, which is done normally in the area here. The next is a regional tournament, which brings teams in from the region. The next is the zone. In some cases, the zone turns into what we call the World Series on the West Coast. After the zone, then you move on to the World Series. Last year, one of our Bronco teams run by Brian Bontalon. Brian, where you at? Where you at, Brian? Pony Giants, where's he at? Put your hand up, Brian, if you would, please. Brian ran our all-star team, which made it through the sectional tournament and on to our regional tournament. So let's give them a round of applause for what they did last year. And all those players that played. We also had a pretty exciting time down here. For those of you that don't know, we host a couple sectional tournaments. We host Pinto tournaments and we host Mustang tournaments. And last year, our Mustang 9-year-olds actually went to the Zone/World Series, correct? Which is an accomplishment that not very many teams do. So I'd like to recognize those kids today. I'm going to bring up Vince Legata, the head coach of the Mustang Nines. He will introduce those kids.
Thank you, guys. Honored to be part of this team. Thank the board members for their support. Gary Brenny for all his tournament work throughout the tournament season. Countless hours of volunteers, parents, and coaches that helped out. It's a true honor to be part of it. You guys should be proud of what these kids accomplished. Let me start by bringing up my coaching staff. Bill Singleton, my first coach. If you can run up here real quick. And Kevin Tomlinson, real quick. And I'm going to call out all the kids that participated on that team, and then I'm going to just quickly describe what they did to get where they got. So, first up, our leadoff, middle infield, and outfielder Ryan Swing. Middle infield, outfield, Vinny Legata. First base pitcher, Gio Sasso. Third base outfield, Zach Gigg. Our catcher, pitcher, middle infielder, Jonathan Singleton. Third base, catcher, pitcher, Corey Taylor. Middle infield, outfield, Cooper Callison. Middle infield, outfield, Will Waxman. First base, outfield, Jack Tomlinson. Third base, outfield, Owen Ekstrom. Pitcher, outfield, Will Ansbro. Last member of the team that's not present today, Tommy Troy. So just a real quick recap of what these gentlemen got to do last year. They participated in a sectional tournament here, hosted at M1, and we got off to a quick start, won our first 3 games, and then ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw and got beat. Finished second in the sectional, but they took the top 3 teams out of this section to go to regions. So we got to participate and up in Brentwood, California for the regional championship. And when we got up there, after making some adjustments, we faced 3 consecutive sectional champions en route to winning the region. Belpassi was our first opponent. We got through them. We ended up playing Paso Robles, who beat us twice here for the section. Got through them and beat Orinda to advance to the championship of the region. And then when we got to the championship game of the region, played one of the best 9-year-old baseball games I've ever been a part of. It was truly remarkable what these kids did. It went into extra innings, and we ended up winning 11-10 on clutch hits by Corey Taylor to tie it up in the 6th, and then a walk-off hit by Jonathan Singleton that scored Vinny Legata to win that flag that you see up on top there. So these guys did awesome in terms of getting through and winning the region with a 4-0 record. Advanced to the Western Zones down in Los Angeles, held in Walnut, California. When we got down there, we became the little team that could. These guys weren't the most dominant group, but I defy any team that played with more heart and more courage than these guys did. They battled adversity, overcame the adversity, and really played hard. When we got down to Walnut, after driving that bus for 7 hours and breaking down on the way, it was quite an adventure. We ended up losing our first game to Corona, who was the previous year's Pinto World Series champion. We battled back out of the loser's bracket, beat a team called La Cañada from Anaheim, got a rematch against Corona and whooped their butt that day, advanced to the bracket championship game, ended up losing to the eventual champion of the zones, but really represented your community well, and you should be very, very proud of what these kids did. So your 2011 9-year-old region champion.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so the last award today is a very special award that goes out to a non-board member. It's the Dan Larice Award. It's very special to me and a lot of people that are out here. Up with me here is Terry Larice, Dan's wife. And Dan passed away 10 years ago this December. And for those that did get to know Dan Larice, you knew this was a guy that if anytime you asked him to do anything out in this field, mow the lawn, build a shed, whatever it was, Dan put his heart and soul into it and went out. You didn't really have to ask him to do anything, he just went out and did it. Most all these boxes that you see at each one of these fields, most every one of them were built by Dan Larice. Dan would stay in his garage for hours and build those and then put them on top of his car and drive those pieces over here and then assemble them. So this award goes to a person that is not on the board, that continues to work in this league, volunteer his or her time without really anybody asking them. They're out here during all-star tournaments, they're out here during the league. You'll find that person picking up trash that's blown across. He'll be emptying out trash cans, or she will be emptying out trash cans, helping all over. So it is a very special award. The Dan Larice Award this year goes to Roger Curl. Here he comes. Yeah, he's running. Guy's out of breath. Roger, would you like to say anything? Let's give him a round of applause. All right, we're on the home stretch here. To do our national anthem this year, we are honored to have the Sobrato High School Band coming out to do the national anthem. As you can hear them, here they come. So we can clear a hole somewhere there on the third base side. Oh, coming right in through here, okay. Everybody, hats off. So we will have closing comments and first pitch, and then we will be done. Sobrato High School Marching Band. The There are no dogs or animals allowed on the school grounds, unless it is a companion dog or some dog for disability. So please, parents, don't make one of the board members have to tell you to take your dog back to the car when it's 105 degrees outside. And we will get to those temperatures later on in the season. So please do not bring your animals out. Also, make sure that you all pick up after yourselves during the day. It makes it a lot easier on Nick, so he doesn't have to go out cleaning up garbage cans. If there's a garbage can that's full, please do your part. Grab it, tighten it up, pull it out, put a new bag inside. That's it for the closing stuff. Also, make sure the last piece here is during the weekdays over here behind Pony. I see a lot of cars parked here. When that Pony game starts, I guarantee you someone's going to get a dent in their car. During the weekdays, do not park in the parking lot, park out on the street. You will be ticketed if you are in that parking lot or in the parking lot in the back. Do not bring your cars onto the campus unless you are dropping something off for the snack shack or the equipment. Do not bring your car here. Do not drop your kids off inside here. Do not drop your gear off inside here. If that gate's open down there by the gym, that doesn't give free rein to drive in. We've been asked by the school not to do this, so let's make sure that we don't do that. Walk your kids in. Other than that, let's get to the first pitch. Every year we normally have somebody come out that has participated in our league, or an ex-president or city council person, so on and so forth. This year I'm very, very proud to announce our first pitch. Happens to be my son. So, get a little choked up here. He just returned from Afghanistan. He's a corporal in the U.S. Marines. He just did his tour of duty in Afghanistan. He still has 2 more years left. He may go back again, we don't know. But it was a long 7 months for us while he was over there in harm's way. So today he's a member of Morgan Hill. He's played from 1995 to 2006, from Pinto to Palomino. I'd like to introduce my son, Corporal Ryan Bennett. Ryan will be throwing out the first pitch of 2012. Yeah, you know what? That's a great idea. On 3, let's give him a big hoorah! 1, 2, 3. Hoorah! Got it. That's good. All right. The Sobrato Band will be doing some music for us as we exit. I want to thank everybody. Let's go out and have fun, enjoy yourselves, and make it a great season. Parents, thank you. Players, thank you.